Alrighty, it is currently 12:03 p.m. and this is to show the specific environment. If you can see the light glaring, you will observe what is the trying to turn the volume on so you can hear. You will observe what is the light source that's in perfect alignment with me. This is a scientific impossibility that this would even be the sun. Remember, I've already documented a sunrise here. With regard to a natural environment, there is no duration of time where the sun would be present from 7:18 in the morning. That is on the east side of apartment 51 where I'm present, and it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is where you're mindful of the fact that there's supposedly a sun over people that live in the state of Florida, in Miami, Florida, okay? For one example, this is the maintenance of a light source, and you could see the glaring light that is a very low hovering. I'm on the first floor. This is also speaking to what is impossible by virtue of the position, the low elevation of this ornament in the sky, where I'm documenting ongoing terrorism by the demon possessed who are gang stalking at an apartment complex. This is what the city of Ontario, which is the state of California, is practicing as a corrupt entity. Okay, the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct while you were also looking at what is engineered light that is molesting my person. Okay, this is a sex offense, and that's exactly how the state's going to be prosecuted. The state that's engaged in gang stalking is a violent sex offender, not only because you're subject to a perpetual sex offense, while engineered light, not sunlight, that's the product of sun that's outside of the building, by the way, not so low that it's beside the window, and that sunlight is also horizontally shooting inside like an angle on the furniture, and then also on the ceiling behind the front door. None of this is sunlight. And as you pay attention, not only that, you will see the what I've been documenting, the maintenance of this engineered light as it travels on across the surfaces inside. For this is where it was on the floor, okay? And then you have relevant positioning that's ongoing inside of the apartment. This is stalking with noise and relevant position, gang stalking, those who you're around. And that's, again, the placement in federal facilities, including mental asylums and federal prison. And that's just for the level of intolerable facilitation. This is relevant positioning on audible activity, just slamming cabinets, walking back and forth to the trash can, walking in and out of the room, doing so on your communication device, doing so with the demons that live around at the same property in the fake sun while engineered light. This is what is captured at 11:49 in the morning, and moments later I'm capturing it as it evolves onto my person. This is a sex offense, and this is within, again, 10 minutes. None of this is sunlight. What you are mindful of is the time frame also. While you see this light source that's in perfect alignment with this is apartment 51 where I've captured the sunrise at 7 in the morning. And then you're mindful of what I just documented while the Ontario police, again, this is speaking to the citywide, which is statewide criminal system, where you're understanding the presence of demons and they're engaging in gang stalking. This is the fake sun. What is 3 hours later from now? It's 12:06 p.m. The sun, again, rising at this property, also a matter of documentation. What is still present while it's in perfect alignment with my position, which is recognizing the pattern of conduct of gang stalkers. Demons are stalking in your path with this engineered light. As I have shown you, what is not normal light activity, what is not the sun, what is a scientific impossibility with regard to its stationary presence, as I'm showing it, what is a facilitating venue, not a private residence, and the demons that are living here are going to federal prison for engaging in what is domestic terrorism. While they do so with impunity, they're also aware, in other words, of the evidence that's being documented. And so for the state government to communicate to an American citizen and the federal government that it is some suffering from some sense of delusion, because the doctrine of supremacy dictates that the state is not supreme or over the federal government with regard to the enforcement of your constitutional rights for the state to stalk you. And that's what's happening when you're subject to gang stalking. The presence of the light source at an apartment complex is the absence of the right of the police department, like I documented at 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday, where the entity was amplifying helicopter activity again, and did so again at 3:53 p.m., where those same demons knew that I was then capturing screenshots of what is under no circumstances sunlight, okay, and what is not the sun. And 3 hours from now, which is where I was here, it was outside of this window, where, again, speaking to stationary presence of the sun, where you will see right now, that's not the sun. That's why I refer to it as what it is, a light source. But this is what I'm able to see, and shooting horizontally, molesting my person, a sex offense that's going to be prosecuted by the entity and also the people of the state who are gang stalking. And here is the fake sun. And while you're looking at it here, You're understanding what are methods of relevant positioning while somebody places packages in front of the door. These are the people of the state that are gang stalking. Pepsi, which was not ordered here, but it's placed in front of the door. This is how an entity is gang stalking, and then they engage in what is patrolling by virtue of just coming and picking it up and walking back and picking it up and walking back. And you're seeing the engineered light that's outside, and you see the engineered light that's across my person. That's a sex offense that's going to be appreciated and prosecuted under federal law. You're also looking at here. This is where the entity is keeping a fake sun. And while I am living at Alvarado Gardens outside of daylight savings time, remember it ended on in November. So same time frame is referenced with regard to what you can look at in Los Angeles, California, where the entity is keeping the fake sun in this manner over me in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, where the same criminal system were underway. This is not over Alvarado Gardens apartments. It's not over anyone in Los Angeles. It's directly over this apartment where I've already documented a sunrise. This is understanding the pattern of conduct where you're subject to it at an apartment complex. Everybody at that apartment complex is going to federal prison, units 33 through 64. And this is recognizing also the impunity with which the system of terrorism is underway. That's not sunlight. That's appearing underneath a structure, like gymnastics, bending underneath into structures in order to appear inside of the building. It's also not sunlight while it's appearing in dots and then growing in lines, and then it's also appearing on the ceiling. All right, moving behind the front door. This is where demons, as I'm documenting, those that are living at the crime scene are ceaselessly engaging in what is stalking in the path. All right, living, in other words, under the fake sun and amongst engineer light, and stalking with an ongoing chorus, which is what is the role of the demon that lives directly above in 55. All right, and where I remain, where you're looking at what is the people of the state inside of the apartment with you, that's an unlawful threat to your life. All right, and this is the entity. This is exactly what I've been documenting, and so this is the substance of the documentation, which you will see on an ongoing basis while that entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct with impunity. This is what I continue to capture through the people of the state, doing so with knowledge of the fact that it's being documented. This is attributed to the entire property that's living at that crime scene, corporately sharing in criminal presence, in criminal activity creation, living in the specific environment. You're not ignorantly living under the fake sun and engaging in the elements of monitoring. This is what the pattern of conduct is in Ontario. These are the demons that work for the corrupt airport who's gang stalking at Woodside Senior Apartments with the people of the state. All right, this is the entity that is doing so on an ongoing basis with those that reside directly above, maintaining a core means, the 1 in 55 directly above, gang stalking. This life space, she's going to federal prison. This elderly person has all the energy in the world to engage in criminal surveillance, not taking in a nap, not taking any pause or break, and is doing so while this demon-possessed person is aware of the fact that she is being documented. In fact, she engages in stomping on the floor. And engineered light is the P.O.C. In fact, this same exact light activity is what I captured inside of this venue in the dark, okay, where you're looking at what is under no circumstances sunlight. This is what was captured at 6:47 in the morning, where this same demon is engaging in what is terrorism with my every move, monitoring my genitalia, just like I stated, monitoring my internet activity in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, and monitoring my every physical movement. And this demon represents the people of the state who are doing so corporately at a facilitating venue where I've already documented, it's already on video, where you will see the sunrise and the sunset at one address, 408 West G Street in Ontario, California. Woodside Senior Apartments is a facilitating venue, and all of the people of the state living in these units are engaged in criminal presence, and they are the least of those that are going to federal prison, meaning it's not isolated to these third parties in these units who are going to federal prison. They're gang stalking and engaging in what is a corporate sex offense. Gang stalking shall be prosecuted as the exceedingly violent sex offense that you are witnessing. And it is speaking to, again, understanding and witnessing what is the phenomenon of the light source that's remaining directly over me inside of the venue. Let me get back to this, what you're seeing here. What I documented at 3, that's hours away from now. Currently, again, the time is 12 p.m., just so you can see that. And what it is that I'm documenting now, which with regard to what is the ability to see the fakes and in perfect alignment with my person, the placement of products that were not purchased by us. This is a demon that's outside stalking in the path, leading, loading, and walking back and forth with the removal of those products. That's gang stalking by the people. And you're looking at what is what I captured yesterday, which is the fake sun, 3 hours from now, remaining at the same address. And that's in perfect alignment while the entity has, again, at 3:30, while the entity was gang stalking by helicopter. That's the disbanding of the demons that are currently referring to themselves as the Ontario Police Department. It's not a police department. And if in the same way that this is not a legitimate airport, there's no terminal where they're flying at this low elevation, hovering over the roofs of Woodside Senior. They're doing so under the fake sun amongst engineered light, maintaining the criminal elements of monitoring gang stalking as a property, a corrupt one. And this is what I captured yesterday at 3:30. And this is what you're understanding is the maintenance of that specific environment where the sun is not going to be stationary. In other words, the entity is keeping the fake sun here, and then 3 hours from now, it's still here, right here in the same position. That's what the entity is. And all I'm doing is documenting it. You're looking at what is stationary presence of the P.O.C. And none of that is the explanation for what is engineer light. Okay, this is criminal intent to engage in what is state surveillance with the people, and doing so by living in an apartment, doing so which you're not free to do. And that's going to be the prosecution of a population of people subject to deportation, federal prison, mental asylums, for the psychological torture that is employed by the demon possessed who live in that demonic environment, okay, with the criminal intent to keep one under surveillance, all right, and doing so with impunity, because that's what you're seeing walking in and out of the kitchen, turning the lights on and off. That's a demon, not just a third-party group stalker whose name you know, who cannot avoid federal prison, by the way. This is P.O.C. It's currently 12:14 p.m., and the entity is engaging in what is ongoing federal stalking in violation of Title 18 as well, while they are monitoring in sync, in concert with the people of the state. This is how you're understanding the people of the state. It's not based on individual identity. You have the same specific environment. You have the same pattern of conduct. You have the same engineered light. You have the same maintenance of presence and under the fake sun amongst the engineered light. You have the same government that is Paul Leon and every other demon that's engaged in gang stalking in the city of Ontario, encouraging it, facilitating it amongst the constituents of the state in the city of Ontario. And that's why they shall be removed from the public office that they currently hold, while they're gang stalking as a corrupt police department, the corrupt fire departments, the corrupt fire department, and the corrupt population that's practicing it citywide. Okay, it is again currently 12:15 p.m. This is P.O.C. I'll show you this. All right, and turning the light on and off is light activity creation. So just want you to see, this is monitoring in real time. This is impunity. All right, the entity is doing so with knowledge, and that's, again, understanding demons. You are not dealing with human beings. You're not dealing with family members that actually love you. You're recognizing targeting. It's demonic. It's an unlawful threat to your life, and it is a basis for federal prison. This is P.O.C.